So talk to me about those poems and how you thought that lesson went. And
I feel, I'm always like, I don't know, but I feel like I was really blown away by some of the final statements, some of the inference statements when I had them coming to me one-on-one to move on.
read me some of your favorites.
All right, that's what I was just trying to pull. I'm just gonna go to Tiandre's real quick. It was right there. All right. The author uses imagery to appeal to the reader's senses and thinking to visualize an apocalyptic type state. This connects to my background. I think of how the U.S. was corrupted in the Great Depression. So he connected it to even what he learned in social studies.
Yeah, share this with Mr. Dundee.
I am.
He'll be so excited.
I am. So that was one of my...
when he said apocalyptic type state, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he remembered one of our vocabulary words this year.
Was that one of your vocabulary words?
It
Pretty
was.
amazing.
And then I wanted to, here she is, all right. By the author saying, as these candidates will bring us to a bitter end, this creates a new tone. The word bitter helps us imagine a new, terrible, and sour outcome of our world. I really like that one. Governors over things often sometimes mess. Oh, so this ain't governor often mess up big time. It can't be this mistake. And then she even reflected. So we did a piece. I noticed a couple of them identified some of the pieces as propaganda pieces, which I thought was look at them tying into a previous lesson. So
that was last time I was in your room. They were talking about
we did propaganda. Yeah. So they were using.
So you said I love that one. Tell me what you love about it.
Just the fact that she's going with the whole the tone and she's using the language. That's what I liked about it.
You're comfortable with the way that she structured the response and that she's linking together the author's craft as well as the devices?
Yeah, that's both of my favorite ones. They do that. They link the author's craft to the message of the piece, and that's what I want. But the way they articulate it, is what makes me. I just like the word choice. I guess that's what I like, the word choice.
Okay. All right.
But then, I've got this one, and I like where he was going, but he doesn't. Okay, that's this stack right here. He doesn't go all the way there.
Who's that?
This is Damon.
Okay.
And this is.
Oh, I expected you to be thrilled with Damon's. What'd you get?
Well, all right. So the author
uses so verbal.
The author uses hyperbole and snob appeal. So he goes back. That goes back to our lesson when we were. All right. So the author was uses hyperbole to make all candidates emphasize that. Okay. So he's using the hyperbole to
improve.
Emphasize.
Okay.
All right. So the author is using hyperbole to emphasize that how Hillary is a dominant candidate.
Yeah.
All right. So what he doesn't do though, he doesn't provide me the text clues. So he doesn't mention that in his statement, and that is something that I always require.
Do you think he had time to finish?
Yeah, he had time to finish. He just omitted that as a statement.
Right.
He omitted the text evidence, and so he'll lose points on that. And so you asked me in the pre-conference, how am I going to? How I'm going to. What was the word you used?
I said, how are you going to measure mastery?
How are you going to measure
what's your
their
criteria?
Articulate. You wrote some specific statement there. So my criteria is going to be, I'm doing it like a rubric type of situation where I break down the final statement into parts, and if they have those parts, then they'll get the full score. And so those parts are, of course, they have to identify the literary device or author's craft. They have to identify the theme. When they have to provide me the actual text evidence. They have to state what the connection is. And so I'm looking for all those pieces inside the answer, and that's how it's going.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question. I'm going to come back to it in a little minute.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things that I noticed is that you kept your model really tight today. That thinking model, which was a deep thinking model. You started at was one of our focus areas in your last evaluation was that you were going to make sure that the kids were doing the heavy lifting and the work, and oh my gosh, you worked them hard.
All right, so yes, I was like, all right, how do I do that during the model? So the way I do it is I'll do some and I'll let them do some, and then I'll do some and I'll let them do some.
Well, and you didn't take over the lesson with the model, and it's so easy to let that happen when you have so much you want to share, but you made a really clear link in just a few minutes. I'm looking at script, and I think that you started that model at, you said all pencils down, track 100%, it was 9:51, okay? You stopped your model and said at 9:59, talk to a partner, you have 5 minutes to start the work. You're going to finish this now. You're going to do the rest of the heavy lifting. And so your whole model only took 8 minutes. And in that time, you still were making them be engaged by stepping out of your bubble every now and then.
Right.
But your thinking model was really clear what it was that you wanted them to think about when they did the student work. You referenced your experience at home as your background knowledge and what you see on your way to work. You even brought in some of the scholars in the room by saying who drives through Poe Mill, who sees this on the way. And the one scholar recognized that was a homeless person that they
You recognized the same lady, right.
And then you linked that so clearly to the text evidence. And so then throughout the student work, I hear them replicating that model. Did you hear that as you were walking around?
Right.
So talk to me about what level of thinking you heard as a result of that model. As you're going from group to group, what did you hear them saying that made you know that they got it?
So just the personal experiences that they were so rich. It's like once I showed them and they heard mine, it's like it was a scaffolding for them to get into what's in their brain, and they just was like just spewing it out, and it's like wow, it's like oh yeah, you know, my brother, he lost everything, you know, he shot himself. Like, oh my gosh, you know,
just never know when that's
right,
going to happen.
You know,
and they feel safe to share that.
And you learn so much about these students when you get them engaged like this, because I had no idea Alicia went through that. That kind of even gives me more insight of, you know, some of her mentality and just how she behaves around here. So yeah, that was powerful. Just watching them share their experiences, but connecting it to the text. I was watching them as she stated that statement. She went straight to a line in the text. You know, so that was great for me. So.
Did you hear that at each group, or did it vary by group?
No, it was. I think, for example, I had one group. There's a group on the far end, closest to my bookshelf. It was Jemiah, Joanna, and Nick. And so, Joanna is very opinionated, very articulate, all right, but she's so shy, and she'll, you know, she's English is her second language, and so she'll know what she wants to say, and then she'll just, oh no, never mind. So I'll leave, right? And I'll like just listen, and I can hear her when I'm not standing over her. She gets really nervous around me, and so just because she's trying to say it and everybody's listening,
well, she wants to please you too.
And so, but when I walked away from her, you know, I can hear her over there talking about the background and talking about the lines and things. So yes, it's at everyone, but as everybody is comfortable with the next person now, but they're all getting it. I can see that they're doing it, and they're making a connection.
Well, there's evidence of that. And so, I mean, several times, and I'm just going to read you from script some of the things that you wouldn't have been able to hear because you were on the other side of the room. I want you to know that this is the kind of conversation that's happening in other parts of the room.
And I trust them. I trust them that when I'm not there watching them, that they are engaged in the piece. And when I come back, I'm going to know what you were doing while I was on the other side. I'm going to know because I'm going to look at your work and I'm going to ask you questions. And if you can't answer my questions, I know you haven't been grappling with the question. You know, so.
It's funny that you chose that word because that's exactly what I was thinking as I was watching, and I wrote it on the side of the script at one point. They're grappling aloud
Right.
with a really hard thing. And so places where I saw evidence of this thinking that you had modeled, this real connection between the background information and that text evidence, and then the understanding of what it was you were requiring of them in that thinking. You had this group that was sitting closest to me, and I don't know her name. She said,